What's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Action Jackson, man. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my previews of how Dallas is going to beat Green Bay on Sunday. So I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone content. But before we even, you guys know that every single time before I do these preview videos, I always go over the injury report. So also I can always base my video around of how the game plan should go for Dallas and everything like that. So going over the injury report, anything that has a dash next to their name. So for example, for the Cowboys, I'm going to go over that real quickly. Dorrance Armstrong and Noah Brown, anytime that you see a dash next to their name, that means they're going to play. So Dorrance, Noah, Ferguson, Gallup, Malik, Micah, Schultz, Cavante, Sam Williams, and Donovan Wilson, they're all going to play. Anthony Barr is officially out, which is better. You know, it sucks that he's out with injury, but this, before I hop into the video and, discuss my, ways of how we beat Green Bay, I wanted Damone Clark. This was a Damone Clark type game for me. So I say, and Zeke, yes, and Zeke is questionable. He has been out. He's the first time we were, after the Chicago game, and we were, there was practicing out for a little bit. Once they gave the Cowboys a little bit of days rest, Zeke wasn't practicing or anything like that. So they were, still letting him heal his knee. And they're saying that if he's not, he's a game time decision. But if he's not ready to go, we'll call it Malik Davis, and we'll just heavily lean on Tony Pollard. But I think Dallas should learn. They're learning right now from their past, especially last year where, when Zeke got hurt week 3, week 4 after the Panthers game, and they were trying to, rush him back, which was a horrible mistake. So they were trying to, rush him back, and Zeke did not look the same at all. So, they're learning from their past mistakes and resting him. So the way we're going to beat, the number one way how we're going to beat Green Bay is by running the ball. Green Bay is ranked 26th in the league against stopping the run. And, when you just seen a bunch of teams, which I'm going to provide proof with Buffalo. Buffalo was able to run the ball. We were seeing that they were able to run the ball with Josh Allen. They were able to run the ball with James Cook, that's Dalvin Cook's brother, Devin Singletary. They were able to run the ball. Detroit, even though, they squeaked out a win against Green Bay, they rushed 418 yards in that game. Then you had, just prior, because they're just like a team like Dallas where they don't really pay any mind for that nose tackle position. Not this current regime with the Packers. So, when you look at the Niners ran all over them. You look at Minnesota in week 1, they were able to run the ball on Green Bay. So Green Bay is definitely a team that's weak, and they can't stop the run that well. So run the ball with Zeke and Pollard. If Zeke is a go, feed Zeke. I feel like this is going to be a Zeke game. I understand, yes, Pollard right now currently is a better back than Zeke Elliott. That's been the case ever since 2020. But for Dallas, this is definitely a game where you want to give Zeke Elliott about 20, 25 touches, 15, 20 touches for Tony Pollard. I know a lot of people are going to comment. I already know that Pollard should get more, but I feel like this is a game where it's cold out. It's not that cold in Green Bay yet, but it's cold out enough where, it's going to be kind of windy. Give the ball to Zeke. He's that bigger back who can take on the load and take on the carries more than Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard can, but then that's when you're trying to give Tony Pollard that 25, 30 touches a game, that's where you're going to end up with Zeke, because a lot of people get amnesia and forget about 2016, 2017 Zeke when they forget how fast he was, because he was like our Pollard, but he had Pollard speed, but he was in his physical body where he's able to run block and, he's able to crack block on people and things like that. So he used to be that guy for us, as some people might forget. You'll throw a pitch out to Zeke, and he'll get about 25, 30 yards. He'll hurdle somebody and things like that. And, that's what happened. That's the reason why Zeke isn't fast anymore, because we gave him 25, 30 yards a carry. He never had a solid back behind him. And that's how you end up getting slow. So now since Zeke isn't no longer explosive like how he used to be, give him the rock in this game, 25, anywhere from 20 to 25 touches, depending on how his knee is. And then you also incorporate Tony Pollard. So that's the number one way. We just run the ball. Green Bay doesn't. They can't stop the run that well. Air the ball out, I felt like, on Green Bay. We don't need to because, like I said, they listen to steps one and rerun this ball. Dak Prescott can have another pedestrian game. I don't care that he throws for 20 of 23. He has 134 yards and a touchdown. This is real life football. This ain't fantasy football. So if you have any Cowboy players on offense for fantasy, I wouldn't start them because this isn't the game that you're looking to start them in. So, I would air the ball out, possibly if we can against Green Bay, if we need to. If we're in a situation that we need to air the ball out, I'm not nervous about it. Jair Alexander isn't that well of a corner to me. He's not. He's a solid corner when healthy, but this year he has not been good at all. And, people are going to always make excuses for him. So, but I'm airing the ball out on Green Bay. Jair hasn't looked the same. Eric Stokes is out. They signed Rasul Douglas, but Rasul Douglas had one good year. He needs to keep proving it for me. And if that's matchups with Michael Gallup or whatever, I'm testing that. The third thing, don't get Green Bay going, especially on the ground. They have no wide receivers, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, but they don't have any receivers. So they're going to be like Dallas. They're going to try to run the ball and rely on their defense. So for us, we have to we have to play really stout against the run, and that's when Damone Clark, for me, comes in, is that you don't want to get this run game going with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, because these are definitely guys that if, Green Bay all of a sudden wants to wake up and, play this game and they want to run and block pretty well, this is definitely where, Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon are going to try and go off. So, and they are special, they are talented type of players and type of backs where they can go off, but this is where Damone Clark, and this is where a game where Vander Esch has to be, confident in himself to shoot gaps when he needs to. When he sees the hole, he needs to attack it instead of waiting for an offensive lineman to touch him, and then now he's chasing the ball carrier 15, 20 yards up the field. So this is a game where I have complete, faith in a Damone Clark, which that's the point I wanted to get to in this video, was that this was, for me, a Damone Clark game. Even if Anthony Barr was healthy, I felt like you need to put your athletes out in this game, because one thing I know about Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers knows he sucks. He's a Bay Area kid. A lot of people in the Bay Area don't like Dallas for some reason. I don't know. But with Aaron Rodgers, he sucks playing against his hometown team, against the Niners, but for some reason, he's a top 2 quarterback when he plays against Dallas. But this is definitely a game where you put your slow athletes like linebackers like Vander Esch on an A.J. Dillon, and A.J. Dillon runs up for a route, or Aaron Jones runs a route. I have no faith in a Vander Esch trying to chase him out on a wheel route or an angle route or any sort of route, a slant. Like I don't have that faith in the coverage ability of a Vander Esch, but I feel more confident with a Damone Clark, even though his coverage skills may not be best as of yet. He showed that in that Packers game he had pretty solid coverage skills, but with his athleticism, he's going to definitely be able to make a play. So I feel like Damone Clark will definitely be key in this game when covering those backs coming out the backfield. And also we got Jaron Kearse to cover a Robert Tonyan or anything like that. Strike first in this game. Whether Green Bay wants to receive the ball or the Cowboys want to receive the ball, we have to make sure that we strike first and punch Green Bay in the mouth. We can't play with this game. Like I say, we got to get rid of them early and just keep putting, our foot on the gas, because this is Green Bay's playoff game. If Green Bay wants to try and even make the playoffs, it starts now, especially with Dallas. So we don't want to give them any sort of confidence. And, this should be the game that we can eliminate them. Not mathematically. They're not mathematically out of the equation. But with everyone else in the, NFC, if you just look at the first 6 spots, you got Philly at 1, you got Minnesota 2, Seattle at 3, Tampa with the 4th seed, Dallas at 5th, and then you got New York Giants at 6, and then you got the Niners at 7 with like a 500 record. So your 6 spots are going to be taken up because Giants, they still don't have a tough schedule yet. I believe they went through the toughest part of their schedule. Us, we're not going to ever have an easy schedule because teams are always going to try to play hard for us. But that 7th spot is only reasonable spot that they can even fit into, even make the playoffs. So it's key for them to try and win this game. But like I said, we strike first. We have no problems. But for Green Bay, every game for them is a playoff game. It's either win or go home. Pressure A-Rod. I believe we're going to be able to get there without sending any pressure because their offensive line is not that good, but they do have solid pieces. John Runyon's okay, but David Bakhtiari is definitely a solid left tackle, but he hasn't been as great neither. You can still beat him. Elgton Jenkins, he's their Swiss Army knife for that offensive line. He plays guard, center, tackle. Mostly I've been seeing him on the tackle, so they'll probably put him at right tackle and Bakhtiari at left tackle. So it's definitely key for us to get pressure on A-Rod. And not only do we pressure him, we got to press Green Bay and the receiver. Like I said, they have no outside threats. They don't have Devontae Adams. They don't have Jordy Nelson. They don't have any of those good Packer receivers that we've seen before in the past. So it's key for Dallas, in my opinion, to press on these receivers. I have no problem with Diggs. Diggs is going to, even if Diggs, quote-unquote, gets burnt, I know Diggs is going to turn his head around. That's one thing I hate when I play against A-Rod, is that he knows that, Diggs is going to turn his head around. That's not the person I'm worried about. It's Anthony Brown, who has been in the league for 40 years, and he doesn't know to turn his head around. And he's played, Aaron Rodgers a couple times, and he still hasn't learned from his mistakes to turn around at all. So Aaron Rodgers, even if his receiver is smothered, he knows that Anthony Brown's not going to turn his head around. So he's going to float that ball in the air, throw back shoulder fades. So it's key. It goes hand in hand. We press Green Bay's receivers. Their eyes get big, turn around. It's simple as that. Because I've seen Green Bay a billion times. We played Green Bay a billion times. I know how they operate. And I know how Aaron Rodgers operates. So we need to turn our head around. And we also need to press Green Bay's receivers because they don't have no threats. So go over my points. We run the ball with Zeke, Pollard. We air the ball out when we need to. Their secondary for Green Bay isn't that great to me. Don't let Green Bay run the ball effectively with Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon. Strike first. This is a playoff-like game for Green Bay from here on out. So let's get them out quick. Pressure A-Rod. Press Green Bay's receivers. They have no threats at all. I'm not worried about not one of their outside receivers. And DBs, we got to turn the ball. We got to turn our head around. I know Diggs well, but everybody else, they got to turn their head around. Deron Bland, he's going to get. I'm pretty sure he's going to get the start at slot nickel corner. They got AB on the outside. So, like I said, also this is another thing. Aaron Rodgers has never seen a defense like this. For Dallas, at least. Like, he's never seen a Dallas defense ever like this, where, you have a dog that can go get you, and Michael Parsons, who's a legitimate dog. He's one of those guys that's going to talk, and, he's going to go out there and really do it. You still got DeMarcus Lawrence, who's really solid, but he's never seen 7 or 11 or 20, the emergence of a 27 with J-Ron Curse. So this is definitely a great defense, so I'm not even worried about us defensively, as offensively, where we're gonna have to run the ball and just get rid of them. So yeah, man, that's about it for the video. Hopefully you guys stayed throughout the video. I appreciate it. If you guys did make it this far in the video, to like it. If you guys have a nice day, see you later. Stay blessed. Bye.